I got 2 fights completely wrong. And honestly, I think most of you did too. Before we get into everything that happened on the White House lawn last night, I want to say this straight. I predicted Alex Pereira stopped Cyril in round 2 or 3. I predicted Ilya by TKO in round 2. Both wrong. Dead wrong. And this card deserves an honest breakdown, not someone trying to spin their way out of a bad call. So let's get into it, starting from the bottom and working up. Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. I called Lopez by submission round 2. He got the knockout instead at 2 minutes and 43 seconds of round 2. Garcia actually outlanded him almost 2-1 on significant strikes throughout the fight, but Lopez has that one punch capability that changes the math instantly. The moment it landed clean, it was over. Lopez is a legitimate title contender at featherweight right now. Nobody should be sleeping on him. Bo Nickel versus Kyle Docos. Round 1, Nickel takes him down immediately, lands elbows from top position, opens a cut above the eye, referee stands them up, and that is when the fight actually ended. On the feet, Nickel landed a clean left hand, followed by a right hook that dropped Docos, then pounced with ground and pound until it was waved off at 4 minutes and 34 seconds. That is the detail that matters. He did not just wrestle his way to a stoppage. He stood up and knocked him out. The wrestler has real hands now. That combination makes him the most dangerous prospect in the middleweight division by a distance. Ruffy versus Chandler. Everything I said before the fight happened exactly the way I said it would. Chandler came forward, Ruffy timed it. First spinning heel kick rocked Chandler badly. Chandler shot for a desperate takedown. Ruffy stuffed it, then landed an uppercut and crushed him to the body. Second spinning heel kick dropped Chandler to his knees, then one final uppercut and it was over. 4 minutes and 29 seconds. Round 1. Chandler is now 2-6 in his last 8 UFC appearances. His last real win before this stretch was a front kick knockout of Tony Ferguson back in May of 2022. 4 years ago, the Chandler era is finished. And then Ruffy climbed out of the cage and proposed to his girlfriend right there on the White House lawn. That image, Chandler on his knees, the White House behind him, Ruffy putting a ring on his girlfriend's finger seconds later, is one of the most cinematic moments this sport has ever produced. Josh Hoit versus Derek Lewis. Hoit dragged Lewis into grappling exchanges in round 1, opened a cut on his head, nearly submitted him with an armbar before the bell. Lewis survived on pure brute strength, but that round took everything out of him. By round 2, he had no legs, no torque, nothing. Hoit landed clean counter rights and uppercuts until Herb Dean stepped in at 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Lewis at 41 years old is running on fumes. At some point you have to call it what it is. Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi. I had O'Malley winning clearly and he did. The finish came at 4 minutes and 2 seconds of round 2. O'Malley dropped Zahabi with a straight left. Zahabi scrambled up. O'Malley walked straight through him with a right hand and saluted the troops before Zahabi even hit the canvas. Walk-off knockout. He called his shot post-game, said he wants Peter Yan next. After 2 straight losses to Merab and a controversial decision over Song Yadong that 12 of 21 media scorecards gave to Yadong, O'Malley needed this win. He got it cleanly. Now to the co-main event. I had Pereira stopping Gane in round 2 or 3. Gane stopped Pereira in round 2 at 1 minute and 27 seconds. And I want to be honest about exactly where I went wrong. I talked about the weight in the prediction video. I said the calf kick would break Gane's footwork and the left hook would find its moment. And the first round started almost how I expected. Pereira marching forward, landing calf kicks, doing his thing. But the speed was not there, and I severely underestimated what 66 pounds of added mass does to your fast twitch reflexes when a man like Gane is standing across from you. What Gane did in round 2 was genuinely brilliant. He dropped his level, faked the takedown, and the moment Pereira's hands came down to defend, Gane came straight back up with a right jab that knocked him down clean. Pereira got back to his feet, but his equilibrium was gone. Gane cut off the cage, landed a 4-punch combination, and Herb Dean could not let it continue. TKO round 2. The 3-division dream is dead. Nobody in the history of this organization has ever done it. Pereira was the closest anyone has ever come. He walked in at 251 pounds. And what this fight proved definitively is that the power does not automatically travel with the weight. The rotational speed that makes that left hook lethal at 205 was not there at 251. Gane is now calling for a unification fight with Tom Aspinall in Paris. That fight is going to happen. For Pereira, he goes back to 205. He is still a terrifying light heavyweight champion, but the heavyweight chapter is closed. The main event, Justin just became the undisputed UFC lightweight champion. Corner stoppage, round 4, on the White House lawn at 37 years old as a 4-1 underdog against a man who was 17-0 and had knocked out 3 former champions back-to-back. I had Ilya by TKO in round 2. Liver shot sets it up, left hook finishes it. And I want to give Ilya credit because round 2 went almost exactly the way I predicted. He shifted to the body, he dropped Justin with a body shot, he secured mount and went for an armbar and a mounted triangle. He was this close to finishing the fight, but that round destroyed him. The energy it takes to control a thrashing, desperate Justin on the canvas for 5 straight minutes. The isometric expenditure of that, it broke Ilya's gas tank, and the fight completely flipped from round 3 onward. Justin came out in round 3, and Ilya's head movement was just gone. He was flat-footed, stationary, and Justin, who I had written off, who most people had written off, started throwing that jab to the eyes, not looking for a knockout, looking for Ilya's orbital bones, repeatedly. By round 4, Ilya told his corner explicitly that he could not see. The ringside physician looked at him. Referee Mark Goddard controversially allowed the fight to continue. Justin sprawled a labored, desperate takedown attempt and landed a knee directly into Ilya's ribs. And between rounds 4 and 5, despite his brother Alexandre begging him to keep going, Ilya's corner stopped the fight. They saved their fighter from something that could have been irreversible. Justin jumped for joy and said, "I cannot even believe it." And honestly, neither can I. I watched Ilya knock out Volkanovski. I watched him sleep Max Holloway. I watched him put Charles Oliveira out in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. And I told you before this fight that the odds were right and the explanation just was not deep enough. I had the wrong explanation. The unbeaten record is gone. 17-0, finished. The aura of invincibility shattered. And the question the whole sport is asking right now is what happens next. The most logical fight is Islam Makhachev. Islam was actually the original preference for this main event before a hand injury pulled him out. He is the double champion. Justin is now the undisputed lightweight king. That unification is the biggest fight the UFC can make. The other option is an immediate rematch because Ilya nearly finished Justin in round 2, and he will absolutely want it back. Both fights are massive. Both make sense. But whatever happens next, last night was genuinely one of the most shocking cards in UFC history. 2 massive upsets on the same night. Ilya's perfect record gone. The 3-division dream denied. And Justin, standing in the middle of the White House lawn at 37 years old holding a belt he has been chasing his entire career. I did not see it coming, and neither did you. Let me know in the comments if anyone actually had both of these results correct, because I genuinely want to find that person.